Hey everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build landing pages and websites in Lovable Dev and using Midjourney. Now this combination is actually really powerful, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I get a lot of questions about this in our courses, and I also get a lot of questions of this in my personal life because everyone asks me how I built my website or how I build apps for Mammoth Club and whatnot. And basically this is how I do at least part of it here. So if you take a look at this here, these sites here, not this page here, but this here was built in Lovable. This page was built in Lovable. So was this, and you can see all these images are Midjourney, and I'm going to talk about what my process is when it comes to all this here, as well as this. This is obviously the blog, so there's other things here, but and the books here. And so you can see that all of this stuff was made with Midjourney and Lovable, and then I put it to my development team for them to put it in there. Now, a lot of people think that you can just make a site completely with Lovable, and I would say that's true, but there is definitely a ceiling, okay? So first things first, let's just make a simple site, and of course we need a prompt, and that prompt will be something along the lines of so anyway, you can see that this is basically what I want to do. Now, of course, you don't have to use a specific font. I just like the font. Another one that's good is Inter. If you go into fonts or if you look at fonts, it's good to get acquainted with what that is. I could probably do this all the time with different fonts. Maybe I'll do another one, but basically this is what I want to do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to push this here. It's going to build, and then I'm going to talk about Midjourney while it's building, okay? So first things first, if you don't know what Midjourney is probably one of the better, if not the best way to make images. Midjourney has quite a bit of control over its images here, and I generally find it to be the best here. So one of the ways you can really use Midjourney is use something called a style reference here. Now, if you search for style references, they're all over the place, but one of the ones I like is from this Twitter account called Sergeant Sref. Now, I don't know if we call it SREF, SREF, who knows? SREF sounds good. But basically, it's this thing here that you can see. It's this SREF and then a number. And this is one of my favorite ones here. It's actually one of his favorite too, or whoever runs this site. And you can see that all you have to do is put in your subject and it will go over these styles here and it will make it in that style here. So if I were to literally copy this, and in fact, let's just take one of the ones that's maybe a little bit more kind of abstract here. Let's take this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say a person on a computer, and I'm going to put that in here. Okay, and just to show you how it works here, and this is doing it in square. Now, generally, I like to do it in 16 by 9, and if you just literally press this and then this, it will do it again, but in 16 by 9. It's really awesome. I really like using it here. So let's just do that exact same thing. Let's do this one, right? I think that looks pretty good. So all you literally do is you copy it, and you can go a person on the computer. And while this takes some time to do, let's go take a look at this here. So Lovable, and wow, it's pretty cool. Now, again, if you watch my award-winning Lovable video, you'll notice that I said that, you know, it gets 95% of it is very easy to do, but going that extra step is hard here. So there's pretty good. I think this is awesome. Obviously, it needs a nav bar and more content. For the headings, use a blue gradient, okay? Gradients are very popular now, and one of the things that you'll notice with Lovable, it will really want to put in the color purple. Now, purple isn't a bad color, I like it, but you'll notice that probably between now and the last maybe 5 years, purple has been used a lot more in websites, and it's because for some reason AI really likes the pink purple stuff. But anyway, let's go back to this here. In fact, you can kind of see this is how it's going here. So if you like this style here, if you like this screen or the style reference, you could just use it, okay? A person using a computer. I think that looks pretty good. Now, if I kind of zoom in, you can kind of see that there are artifacts everywhere. Now this one, you know, it's okay, but this is where all of this stuff could get a lot better, where you can see like there's artifacts here, there's artifacts everywhere. But as you can see, this was the exact same prompt with a different screen style reference. And guess what? It looks different. So that's why style references are super powerful. And the reason why they're super powerful, write this down in your little books here, just, you know, write them down, is that you can style everything in one way. Okay. So for example, if I just go back here, this is all the same style reference and I can theme it, right? Now that was basically the same prompt, but I just had different images. So again, you can kind of go through all of these here, and some of these are better than others. And what I highly recommend that you do is you just kind of play around with it. The more you play around with it, the better here. Like this one's, I think, really cool. This one, I just got to put in my Midjourney here. Now, the reason why I say play around with it is because, and put it into Midjourney, is because what you save all of your Midjourney images, and since you save all your Midjourney images, you can come back to it. It's like, hey, what was that one that I really liked? And you can see that, it'll be that one here. This one was really cool. I'd say this was another one. And I'm just gonna, just even for my, you never know when you need a really good style reference. Like, let's say you're building an app and the app has this aesthetic. Well, okay, guess what? You have that in here. Now, of course, you can actually animate these, which is super cool. It takes too long, so I'm not gonna do it. Well, I guess I could and just like show you when it's done here. But for the most part, I think this is a really good way of doing this here. Now, I have one that I really want to do, and it looks like this here. Now, this is not, I did put the style reference in here, but this idea of cassette futurism is like this kind of new thing where you have kind of like futuristic 80s stuff, but this style reference is something that I really like here, right? So you can see that they'll do it here. But let's go back to our website for a minute, and then you can see like, I think this is pretty good. All right, so as we go on here, let's add in a logo, dark blue or inverse to what the current. Now, I think this prompt is gonna work 50% maybe. We'll see, 50%. But let's go back here. So this is the one that he likes here. So now we need to go and kind of create some more images for this here. So what I can do is there's a feature in Midjourney where you can kind of go do a reverse image search. But let's say you look at this here, a tech. Now, actually, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. These all look really cool. Maybe a bit too many dots, but still cool. Okay, so let's go with this one because I really like this style reference here. And that's why I picked blue. I did like some planning here, which is, I think, kind of nice. So let's go, and this is my favorite one, tech stock image, okay? So let's go ahead and let's just add that in here. The other thing you can do is, again, just clicking on both of those, is that you can actually add in the variety tab. And so if you add in the variety tab and you do it again, you're gonna get, again, more variety. And sometimes what I like to do is the weirdness tab really add in the variety, but this might be too much. So let's just kind of bring it down here. Also the stylization 315, this is the one that I really like the most here. So let's do tech stock image. Let's do tech stock photo. Image and photo might give you slightly different ones here, but okay. So make the logo. So you can see as I'm doing this, it kind of makes more. Make the logo the same blue and minimalist. Okay, so again, if you'd probably have a logo here. So as you can see, we do have different items here. And so this is what I was working for. Make the headings have more grade. So this is actually going really well, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and let's take a look here. I don't think we have, okay, look at this. So yeah, these are pretty cool. Abstract, and we'll just take a look at some of the other ones here. Person on a computer, dots here, we already looked at those. So let's go ahead, and what I do is can vary them up by subtle or strong. So I'm gonna actually do strong here. Subtle will just give you almost the exact same thing. And I'm gonna do strong on this one as well. But what I usually do is I just kind of open them up in new tabs and I can download them later. But as you can see, like again, if you zoom into this stuff, the artifacts are a little bit off, but people do not seem to mind as much. And you can also see that chaos, the more chaos, the more it diverts. So these are kind of cool. But the chaos 25 isn't bad. This one looks really neat. And if we animate these, they're gonna look super cool too. So I'm just gonna add in all the ones I like here. And we'll wait for that one to get completed here. And okay, so like the logo, you would probably upload a better logo. So the other thing, it's like a features section. That's 2 columns and 2 columns. One side is images. The other side is heading and text. Okay. Now, I could probably prompt more, but I'm going to push it, let it do its thing, and then I'm going to change it because I kind of know what it's going to do. All right, but let's hop back. And so you can see how prompting in one, and then you're prompting in the other one, you're prompting one, prompting the other. So that's kind of my workflow, is when you just go from A to B here. And so as you can see, you know, these are the variations of this here. I think these are all really cool. They're all different, but all really neat. So now we kind of need to do more. Okay, so text stock image, believe it or not, if you're in a time crunch, just text stock image or stock image of whatever it is you're doing. Like, actually, let's do another one here. Instead of text stock image, you can do cybersecurity stock image. Let's do another one here. Cybersecurity, we'll call it computer stock image. You know, we'll call this office. These are the cheap prompts, and I shouldn't say cheap, like they're simple but effective, right? They're minimalist prompts. Maybe that could be a thing. So here we go. This is exactly what I wanted, and it actually did exactly what I'm looking for here, where we have the images on the side, and it actually alternated the side. Last time I did this, it didn't do that. So you can see it's getting better here. And then I believe this was dark. Kind of wanted it to be dark here, but it's good enough here. So we got pricing and testimonials, contact, get started. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Again, I think it's pretty neat that it can do this here. Now you can see that this is pretty good. Could be better. And again, this is just a simple tutorial with me explaining things. Obviously, if you're going to do more stuff, it's going to take a lot longer here, but let's just go ahead and let's see if we can get some more of these here. In fact, cybersecurity stock image, that didn't really do what I want. This one looks cool. Now, of course, it's not done yet, so you can see how it says 92% up at the top here. It's not quite done, but I think that's super neat. I really like these ones here. I don't know, and I'm going to download all these and then upload them. Now, I'm not quite liking the chaos here, so I'm just going to put the variety down just a bit here. And so what I would do is, for example, this one's like a text stock image. We have a shield and a lock. So let's do that here, lock, okay. And then let's do it again. Let's do the cloud, all right, and then graphs. A lot of people make really complicated prompts, and it's not bad. It's just, I find that there's like a cost benefit analysis to some of this stuff. Ooh, this one's nice. And I'm looking for another one here. I think this is probably pretty good. We just have to kind of wait here. Now, let's go ahead and let's download some of these. So really what I do is download them. And this is a whole process where I just simply download them. So I'm just going to do that so you don't have to listen to me do it. And as you can see, this is starting to get done. Ooh, these look really good. I really like it. Oh man, this very nice. Very nice. And I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to put all of these here and cloud. Took it too literally, but still looks nice though. And then graphs on a computer screen. That one looks cool. Okay, so I'm going to download these as well. So now that okay, so I didn't expect this to be as good as I thought it would be. So let's make the logo a lion here. Okay, and when we're doing that here, let's add in, I believe, all of these here. And I believe you get 10 of them. So here you can see I said replace all of the images, but the first one in the hero section, don't replace. And one thing I guess I love about all of this LLM stuff is they rarely, if ever, comment on your grammar or spelling or sentence structure, which is just super awesome, at least for me. Okay, so, okay, let's do this here. Okay, and for logos, it's generally better to be square. Okay, and so we're gonna have to fix this up. Now, obviously, again, fixing everything, it will do that here. So it just, they'll think. So right now everything's thinking here. So after fiddling with this, it's for some reason does not want to replace all the images, which is fine here. So it's just kind of doing it. I dropped in 10, but it didn't work. Anyway, so what I've done is I have these blue minimalist logos here. I think probably the two best are probably this one or this one here. I'm just going to go with this one because it's completely to the side here. So what I've done, again, is just kind of dropped it into affinity. And, you push W and then not quite. So close, but not quite. All right. And so anyway, so after playing with it for a bit, you're going to go ahead and you basically export this. I could probably just save it. And then let's hop back into Lovable here. This is obviously going to take a little bit longer, so I'm going to pause the video and wait till this is done. So after a long time, it finally worked. I don't know what was wrong with the other images, but you can see here that, yeah, this is starting to look pretty good here. So what you can do is you can take these into Affinity or Photoshop or whatever and change the color so that it kind of fits the background. Or if you really want to, you can kind of change the background to fit more of these colors here. A couple things here, so let's go ahead and let's add in this here, and then I have the logo here. So I'm going to do those in two separate prompts. Okay, so change the hero section to this image, and we'll let it do that. And then usually what I do is I put up my next prompt ready to go here, and then for example, I'll say change this to be the logo, or you can say this is the new logo and stuff. Sometimes you have to let it refresh, and then it didn't do that. This is the other thing about Lovable. Sometimes it's, so I'm just going to do that here. What I honestly do is I take a image of this here, I drop it in, if it lets me do that. Okay, for some reason it is kind of, there we go. And then I'm going to drop it in again. Lovable's being really buggy today. Just to change the header image to this. Yeah, Lovable's super buggy today. And so weirdly, it actually did both of them at the same time. Now, there's this cream color that is a part of the images. So what you can do is you either have like two options here. You can, for example, bring this into here, and you can just push the eyedropper. I believe you can just kind of say, you look at this here, and you look at the hex code, just like that. Now let's kind of go back. It's like, okay, make the whites this color. Okay, so you can just do that, and then give it a few seconds here, and it'll actually change the whites to this cream color, and it might give you slightly better blending with these images, because that looks cool, but like I think if the ones were better. And remember, we can always restore it. Now I actually haven't had to do that, which is kind of funny, right? So what you can do in Lovable is, like, for example, if you didn't like, the way it went, you can just go push the restore button, and it will restore back to that original or whatever the build you did, and that's really awesome. It's super cool. And of course, just as I say it, this does not look good. It really doesn't, okay? So what we can do is we can restore it here. Now, sometimes, or at least when you're coding, it's try to do things better with code. It's like, can you make the images brighter, like the background? And you can just ask it to do something and see what happens. In fact, I've never actually had to ask it this, but we could just ask it now and see what happens. And this is the cool part about vibe coding error. And look at this. So this is definitely an issue. So for example, I'm going to take a picture of that. And by the way, I use my, I'm on a Mac here, so if I do Command-Shift-4, you can easily take screenshots. And you can see here it says, change the talk to sales button text to be blue. Okay, now let's see if it can actually do that. It didn't do that. Well, maybe it did. Anyway, so let's just add that in here. And I'm just gonna leave that here. So again, what I would do is I might change this to be a little bit more bright. But that cream color doesn't look terrible. It just looks a little bit different. Now, we tried something, it didn't work. And you can see how when you're working with Lovable, you can try something and have it not work, and try something and have it not work. We just have to kind of fix that button. This happens all the time, right? And look at that. So when it hovers, okay, that's what happens with the hover. So I think we're almost done. Now, you can actually look at this here, and we'll see how good of a job it did, okay? So this is a preview here. It's pretty good. Now, if I go into my developer tools, okay, There's a couple of hacks if you don't already know. So you can actually take a look at this on different dimensions here. So you can do iPhone. You can see how it looks on, just different things. All right. Not bad, not great. So and what you can also do is this responsive one. You can see, where stuff breaks and where it's good and where it isn't here. There's a few things that I guess we need to do just kind of looking at this here. But, okay, let's just see if it fixed that. Hey, it fixed it. Okay, good. So last but not least, this, if we look at this here, the bold, I think we're more looking like that here. I think this actually looks pretty good, just looking at here. But the last thing you do, and this is one of the last things, it's like make this page look really good on all devices, especially iPhone and mobile. Don't forget tablets. That's a super important prompt here. All right. And so as it's doing that, there's a couple of other features you definitely want to do. So it says Nova Tech Hub. What I usually do is I'll rename the project here and I'll call this YouTube Lovable Demo. And what's the date? Let's see. 7/11/25. Okay. Let's see if we can do that here. Now, I believe you're not allowed capitals for this here, but you change the name of this. And then what you do is you sync it to your GitHub, okay? And I really hope Lovable never gets rid of this here. But bang, so you can see that's still editing here. And I wonder if I'm allowed to do that. No, I can't do it while it's doing that. And after, well, it seems like 3 minutes or something, basically, we're almost there. So what I do is I connect the project here. I go to Mammoth, my GitHub anyway, and it says transfer anyway. Just say yes. I really hope they don't ever get rid of that here. And then basically it uploads everything to GitHub, which is quite nice. Now, again, everything should be working here. And that basically is how you make like a simple website here. Now, arguably, for whatever reason. So this tutorial doesn't necessarily have like the Supabase here or the cloud, but this is really at least a good start here. And you can see, well, this took, 20 minutes? I could say that, remember, going back to this, like this took a lot longer to get all of these here. And, what I basically did was make this here. And then the next thing you do is you could publish it, and there you go. You have yourself a simple kind of website and landing page. Now, I think this is the best way to do it, using Midjourney and Lovable here. And of course, you can always look at the code, right? And this is React Tailwind in the front. So if you don't know what that is, you should definitely know, right? It's kind of funny. A long time ago, I made a course called 1 Hour HTML, and everyone should take it. Frankly, you should know how a React app works. It's just something that you just need to know, right? You don't need to be a React developer. You just need to know how it works, okay? So as you can see, this is pretty good. And you can change pretty much everything that you want. And I did it, within, we'll call it less than 30 minutes. Just because, I was explaining and whatnot here, and I think it looks pretty good. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down below. We do read every single comment here. And if you want to see more content from me and to build certain apps, again, post what you want to see in the comments and I'll see what I can do. If you really like this video, you can subscribe to Mammoth Club's yearly subscription. It is an amazing subscription of 3,000 plus courses. We also have a ton of practice exams, everything from AWS to AI. We have it all. It's definitely something that you want to do here. Also, when you sign up, you get free merch. How good is that? And if you are a business, we have business pricing. Again, the link will be down below. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.